And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. My name is Kargoz. It is December 3rd, 2019. It is a glorious, glorious morning here in Northern California. I hope you're all doing well. Good Morning Azeroth 36. You'll love to see it. Today I am joined by a new face, a fresh face. You guys haven't seen him on the show before. We're big fans of his content. He is a up-and-coming, hot stock in the YouTube space, making classic content there. He's streaming over on Twitch. Big friend of the Classic Wideout Live, site and everything like that. Frost Live, bro, or Frost. You said you go by Frost, right? But big welcome to you, man.
Guys. Thank you.
It's good to be here already.
One's in the chat if you know Frost, if you recognize Frost content. A lot of you probably do. I'm assuming. I watched your Dire Maul video recently. That was a great video.
Thank you.
Did. But then we got Defcamp.
Killed on the streams.
Defcamp and Dunedain. The boys.
Yeah.
So we have the wrong nameplates.
Oh my god! So it's an authentic, Kargoz stream.
All right, you gotta do the Good Morning Azeroth, Dunedain. You gotta do the yell.
No.
Should we have Dunedain do it? Yo, chat would love to see that.
Yeah, right.
Can you do it for the chat?
I can't do it the same way.
He's a paladin. He doesn't have the prayers, so he can't do it.
It's just blessings, man.
Yeah, just blessings. They only last 15 minutes too, so
Yo,
no.
One's in the chat if you want to see Dunedain. All right, whatever. All right, Defcamp, lead us into it, bro.
You ready? You guys ready?
Fort us all up, bro. I need some.
You ready for power? Okay, listen, everyone. Fair warning. All right. Well, let's do it. We're 1 week away from BGs. Let's hear it. Good morning, Azeroth. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go and get it ready, baby.
That was a beautiful one. That was a clean execution. I didn't even take my earphones at that time. I just took it.
All right.
I always take it, man.
You always take it?
Yeah,
You always take it. Always take it.
Take it like a man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's good to be back, guys. Good to be back. Yeah, BGs in 1 week, dude. Time is absolutely flying. Can you believe we're about to be in Phase 2 Classic, dude? It feels like...
I know. Well, yeah,
time
phase
flying by.
2.5.
2.5. You mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. How was your weeks?
Well, with Thanksgiving and everything too. How was everyone's holiday? If you're American, yeah. So, I actually had a pretty nice chill Thanksgiving. Had some turkey, had some stuffing with the fam. It was nice, very chill. We usually have like a big Thanksgiving. This year we had a nice little quiet one. Even got a raid in this week, so we actually didn't have a scheduled raid, but still managed to do MC Nani this week. So I'm pretty happy with all that. Didn't get to play too much though this week, with spending time with family and everything. So, but yeah, it was a nice little break. Nice little break away from everything. I only got 1 day off of work, so it wasn't that bad.
You ate your fair share of turkey though?
Yeah, I ate some turkey, man. My mom made some banging ass turkey. Shit was really good. It was really good. So
Italian moms, dude.
Very moist. Yeah. So we have turkey and pasta.
That's awesome, man. Frost, by the way, my bad. I was supposed to, let you intro yourself to the stream, but there's always some scuffage at the beginning of every game, man. If you could be so kind, and introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everybody? So I'm an undead frost mage. I play on Stalag NA, and I'm going for rank 14 now. So if you're tuning my stream for the next 2 months, that's what I'm going to be doing. Is just grinding honor. Pretty much. And
that's why he looks a little sleepy too, man. You've been on the grind, right?
I'm a little sleep deprived.
Yep.
That's a full-time job, right? I mean, come on, that's gotta be it's. I've watched some people. Oh shit! Here's an alliance coming to kill me. Coming to kill me now. Oh well. But I've watched some people just trying to rank, and it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's brutal. And I mean, it was nice this week though, getting a couple days off for Thanksgiving and stuff to be able to just not play and have some non-screen time, let my eyes rest. Super nice.
But people were playing during that time, right? People were playing and
yeah, and it was stressful.
Yep, I bet, dude. That's what I'm saying. I kind of just wrote it off until after the holidays. That's crazy though, man. That's the Gen 1 ranking.
Dude.
Yeah. Dunedain, how are you though, bro?
I'm doing good. I had a few busy weeks, but now I have a little bit more time, so played quite a bit last few days, and I plan on playing quite a bit in the future days too. So, been a good few days on Classic, to be honest.
That's great, man. That's great. You look happy too. You look like you're having life is treating you good, man.
I love how you got the camera zoomed in on Dunedain's face when it's usually zoomed in on my face. It's usually zoomed in on my face.
It's because he's down in that corner, though, Defcamp. That's why. You guys got switched around. Whoever's in the bottom right gets the full... You get the full
you
frontal...
get the full facial,
That's funny, dude. That's funny.
It's fine, man.
That's right.
Well, maybe I will be syncing like Defcamp used to sync.
There you go. Yep.
So we got BGs in 7 days. That's
7 days.
We're gonna be talking about
I am ready for that.
There are some people that we're gonna be talking about the ranking meta currently. All right, so if you go to Classic WoW Reddit, it's a dangerous place. But you go there, you're gonna see a lot of complaints, a lot of people crying about faction imbalance and just the current ranking meta. We'll discuss that a little bit too, but we're hoping that the overarching theme of this GMA will be, it's hard to describe it, going back to basics and remembering why we play Classic WoW, what do we really enjoy about the game. And it's so hard sometimes, at least for myself, to get too caught up in the meta and the competitive side of things, man, that it can make you enjoy the game less, at least personally. That's happening. And I do sense, my spidey senses, I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way, that there's some burnout going on. There's some raid logging going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I wanted to talk about. It's and it's pretty much everywhere right now, and you see it in myself a little bit. I see it in Melderon. I see it in some other people. It's just a lot of people are kind of getting to that point where they're either burnt out, or they're either just kind of in that weird limbo place where you're waiting for more content to come out. And I think right now is a really important time to reflect on what you love about Classic WoW. And I know for Kargoz, for you and for myself, a lot of it is in the leveling process. A lot of it is maybe making an alt and maybe not focusing too much on your main and kind of enjoying the other facets of Classic WoW, right? Because it's not all about end game ranking up or doing end game content. There's other things about this game that we enjoy as well, depending on who you are. So I think it's good to reflect on that, and sometimes you gotta take a step back and just kind of enjoy things on a slower, slow down. Yeah, take a hit from the peace pipe. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think I probably am fortunate that I didn't have that much time to play since release, and therefore I'm not having that burnout phase and stuff. I always keep finding things to do still on my main. I want to play in an alt, but I kind of keep logging on my main, and people in chat are actually trolling me because I don't want to play PvP. That must be a guild member. I don't like the world PvP as much as I thought it would be. It's not that fun to me, honestly.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah. I also don't have to farm strat and that anymore. That's true. I got my chest piece yesterday in multi-core, so finally. I've been farming that shit for weeks now, and the chest piece from Baron just didn't want to drop.
So, and that was your first epic, you said, from MC so far?
It's my first healing epic. Yeah, I got that AoE. I got that AoE trinket for AoE farming, and that's about all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Gear didn't want to drop, apparently.
Well, congrats, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Congrats, bro. Enderil and Sarmonican, thank you very much for your support. They just subscribed. Really appreciate it.
Sarmy.
Putting a smile on all of our faces.
What's up, Sarmy?
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you need the competitive side, right? The player versus player element. I really think for me to be vested in a game, you really do need that, right? Because it's timeless content. It's really what gets people going at the end of the day. But at the same time, man, leveling's a big part of the equation. It's something I want to talk about a little bit later. I've been a broken record about this for multiple GMAs now, but leveling is a very, very big, important part of the game. And TLDR, I started an alt randomly because I've been feeling a little bit burned out and just not sure what to do with myself, not feeling super motivated, wanting to log in and grind DM for 8 hours and then get all the world buffs and do all that. So I just made an alt. I don't know why I made an alt. And was on a new server, no friends, just by myself, just logging on there, playing, and just played a couple hours, and I really felt like I reconnected with the game a little bit, and I was having a lot of fun. I don't really care about how fast I was leveling or whatever, and I don't know, I'm hoping to have this GMA be a little bit more wholesome. We talk about that kind of stuff because I sense it. I don't know if you guys agree in the chat. Say something in the chat if you are feeling some burnout.
I sense it too, man. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and going off that, like for the alt thing, for me personally, I don't even have a second level 60 yet, and I feel like most people do, but I wanted to level my alt like really badly. So my alt's a rogue. I didn't want to get it boosted because like I wanted to actually level it because I enjoy leveling.
Right.
And then like this rush content made me feel like it's harder for me to actually have the chance to go level that. But like, so that's really what my motivation is I feel like I have tons of stuff left to do. I still need to level my rogue. I want to level a character on another server to 60. So like, I feel like I have a lot left to do, and I'm being forced to like, cause I want to do everything on my main. So like I'm busy ranking and I can't go level and stuff like that.
Blizzard's kept up. That's really good feedback, man. Blizzard's kept up the pacing, right? Like you actually, at least if you are going hard, and I kind of stopped going as hard as I was. Like you honestly feel like you don't have enough hours. There's always something to do, and then the
content's running around the corner.
Comes out. You don't get a chance to breathe, right?
Nope.
To breathe.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit of breathing room, honestly, because and I understand they want to keep people engaged, but like I think for a lot of people, you have to realize that classic WoW's a little bit more of a slower paced game than other expansions and things, and it should be. So like I feel the same way, Frost. I really want to focus on my other alts, and I really haven't felt like I've been able to, and I've kind of pushed back in a way where I've said, okay, well then I'm just gonna do what I can a little bit here and there on my main. But one thing that I really want to do, and this is something that I love playing Horde, but if you ever do feel a little bored of like what you're doing, maybe trying the opposite faction sometimes can actually be a bit refreshing, in my opinion. So I'm going to roll over with Dunedain, and we're going to do Super Plate Brothers again over there. I'm going to roll a Paladin over there with Dunedain. So I'm going to be doing that, a little bit here and there, just to have a little bit of fun. But, I think,
cool, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And like, for me, you got to find ways of keeping things fresh. Because I think maybe I made a mistake, right? Where on the very last private server that I played on, I'm doing exactly what I did now, right? Playing a priest, raiding, PvPing, whatever, and it almost feels like it never ended. Like it's just like a continuation of that. And I think I and I love priest, right? Here's the thing: I absolutely adore this class. It's my favorite class in all of WoW, but it did have a little bit of an effect on me where I've been healing nonstop for like a long time now, and that's getting a little not boring, but a little just stale, I would say. So I want to just explore a little bit more.
You say that because I wondered if I made a mistake and in not playing a paladin on the private server. I didn't roll a paladin past level 20 on any private server in the past 2 years because I wanted to play one in classic. So I've been wondering the exact opposite thing, but now I'm quite happy I didn't.
Grass is always greener, boys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I couldn't agree more with you, Defcamp. Especially this faction imbalance with Horde to Alliance. Yeah. It's actually motivated me to kind of want to play Alliance, man. You guys know this about me, right? Alliance is the first faction I played. I eventually became woke and transferred over to the Horde, right? But I really enjoy the Alliance experience. I really, really do.
Especially the leveling, like the questing, and the...
It's just more beautiful zones, man. It's more cozy.
It's a totally different color
Lord of the Rings style.
Totally different look, feel, and everything, man. And that might be the play, dude.
It's like a different game, like sometimes,
It really is.
It's just so different during the leveling process. And that's one thing that I really would offer to anyone else who, I know like a lot of you guys like, oh, fucking Alliance, whatever, but and I part of me kind of feels the same way, right? Especially when you're fighting like Horde, like, oh my god, oh look, like you're like, oh, there's Alliance, and you realize, oh, I'm Alliance, like they're Horde. It kind of feel bad when you kill someone, but just like the leveling experience on its own can be just so gratifying especially if you've never experienced that. It's just so different, and it's just it's something fresh, something new.
If you're feeling burned out, I'd recommend trying it, man. Just say fuck it to the balance, fuck it to the gold, Say, don't worry about the gear. Don't worry about what Bob thinks of you. Don't just fuck it, dude. Just go on another server, make a character, crank that ambience up, crank the music up. Just enjoy, man. Just relax. Like, there's no expectation on a new server. Like, there's no one you're competing against. You're clearly behind, right? You don't have to worry. You don't have to sweat that. Like,
exactly.
You're clearly behind. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Go try that out. You would be surprised. That might be the thing. So I want to do a quick posture check with everybody in the chat, including you guys as well. I've had this slide up for a while. If you could be so kind as to retype it. On a day-to-day basis, especially you, Frost, man, when you're grinding and doing this rank 14 thing, it can't be fun all the time, bro. Like, how motivated are you guys to get up and play? How excited are you guys to just rush over to your computer and log in at this current state and time, December 3rd, 2019, 1 out of 10, and this, applies to PvE players, PvP players, no matter what aspect of the game you dabble in, want to gauge the motivation level across the board.
Wow, that's a good question, man.
Here's the thing, though, on that feeling bored and all that stuff. I think one of the issues is that Blizzard is, like you said, pushing out content really fast, and therefore people feel obligated to rush through the content fast, do it in the best possible min-max style way, and then they get bored. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because we have some pushback towards how fast they're releasing stuff, right? But at the same time, we're having pushback against some people feeling bored. Like, what do you do? What's the solution, right? Is there a chance you'd feel more? Would you feel more motivated to play if they spaced it out more? Would you feel more motivated to play?
Here's the thing, right? If they space it out more, now you have more time to play alts, right? This is my opinion, right? This is how I like to play the game. So for me, if they would spaced out more, I would get my guy geared up and be like, okay, he's good. Now I can play my alt, right? That's kind of like where I feel classic WoW, especially vanilla WoW, when I played it. I didn't feel rushed. Yeah, I wasn't doing high-end content at the time, but I felt much more like I had the time to gear out one character and then mess around on another and not like fall back on my main character, right? So, and I feel like vanilla WoW, like, yeah, people always say it's not alt friendly, it's not blah blah blah, but I kind of disagree. Like, I feel like the leveling process is such an important part of classic WoW to so many people that, even if you're just leveling a guy just to do low-level dungeons or whatever with your buddies, like, I think that should be a part of the game as well. So if we were to slow down the content release to more of a vanilla style of, like, and things haven't been that far off right so far, but we're looking at, possibly BWL coming out in the early, January, February, something like that. So content's definitely coming out quicker than it did in vanilla. So I kind of feel like, I would have more time to play another character and not feel so focused to just keep, on one. You know what I'm saying?
But it's partly the content being pushed out too fast, but it's also partly fault of the vocal minority, I think, who are always saying you have to play the game in this way because that's the most efficient way to play it. You can't play, for example, your Red Paladin in raids because it sucks. You have to do the dungeon leveling and those things. People do those things, get to 60 faster, do it in the most efficient way, and then they are bored after it. So
well, what do you do about it as a guide maker or something, right? As someone who makes guides and all this, right? It's the type of thing where, like, okay, if you see a really good movie, you guys ever have this experience? You see just a fire movie, like, everything is so good, dialogue's on point, authenticity, realism, everything is so good, and you run in and you go tell your friend about it, and you're like, yo, this movie's so good for X, Y, and Z, and then they watch it, and they're not as hype about it as you are, because you kind of, like, spoiled that journey to realize it was so awesome a little bit, and if they were to watch that movie organically, they may like it even more. It's the same thing maybe with Classic. If you tell people exactly how to play in the most efficient way, like, you're not letting them figure it out themselves, kind of. I don't know. But then at the same time, that's the kind of era we're in right now. Like, there's a guide for everything. Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. How to make a freaking, peanut butter sandwich. There's a guide for it.
That's a problem. That's a problem with an old game. It's figured out. People play it so much.
But see, like, I want to ask you guys a question. So, like, someone asked, P Smiles, he said, so Defcamp, what's the reason, so why are they pushing out the content so quickly? And then another person says, they need to stop catering to the streamers and this, that, and the other. So do you think that because like a lot of streamers were like big streamers were complaining about being stream sniped and corpse camped and things like that. Do you think their complaining had an influence on BGs coming out sooner?
Yeah and no. I think it's not because they complain, because that's like.
Or do you think it's just because people in general complained about it?
No, I think it's because people follow those streamers and they do what streamers say. And then basically, if a streamer is saying, I'm bored, I need new content, many people are going to agree. And therefore, I think Blizzard needs to push it out a bit faster, if you know what I mean. So it's because the streamer says it, but he's a big following too.
As we going back to retail, just throwing it out there, you guys all probably heard that before.
He'll be back though. Like once BGs are out, like I doubt.
How do you know? Is it? Do you think it's a money thing? I don't know enough about the dude.
Well, here's the thing,
I know
right?
nothing
I can understand Asmongold's mentality, and his whole mentality is he wants to keep the stream engaged, and I guess he feels like being corpse camped all the time doesn't. I don't know, because like the first thing that he's gonna care about is his stream, because that's what that's what makes him money, right? But I don't know, like I feel like there's enough people who play this game who don't follow streamers and don't care about their every whim and this and the other, who do enjoy the content coming out at this speed, because they are min-maxing and they are doing this, but
they are a little bit pushed by the people who do.
They are, and then I feel like you have the people like, maybe Melderon, myself, who are just like kind of like we've been waiting for this game for a long time. We just want to fucking play it at a slower pace, clear the content and not feel rushed while doing it. And I feel like there's a large amount of people in that net too, right? In that grouping where they just want to play the game, have a good time, like not care about what's that kind of mentality.
I wanted to say something about that, because when I made the guild, I specifically wanted to have that experience where you play the game, don't min-max and stuff. And while we still try to do that, it's something really hard to keep up with, because people in the guild, even though they knew it before they joined the guild, they tend to go and try to min-max stuff. They tend to go and watch the meters, the healing logs and all that stuff, and see where can we do better. And if we wipe one time in MC, which hardly ever happens, but if we do, then that's like a big fail. And I hope when the new raids come and they're a little bit more difficult, and we wipe, that people will look at it as, it's actually kind of fun to try things out, and don't go min-max, and don't go like, now we need all to bring potions because we wiped for 2 hours on a boss. I'd rather wipe on that same boss without bringing potions for a couple of weeks and then kill it finally.
That's why you gotta have clear expectations to your raid of what kind of raid it's gonna be.
True.
You get a lot of people like-minded, you're gonna have no problems. That's the number one advice I would give to anyone. We have 5 active raiding groups in our guild right now. 5 that pump every week. They're slapping down Oni and MC and better time each week. You got to set an expectation for everybody, so everybody's on the same page, right? Because you get people.
But even those like-minded, everyone, including myself, we still try to do things a little bit min-max style, because we know how we can do it better. It's really hard to play a game.
It is. It's hard to balance.
If you know how to play, it's really efficient.
Let's get some input from Frost, So we blabber a lot. Frost, how is as someone doing the rank 14 grind, given your current classic journey that I don't think any of us in the chat or us even know about, what's your current motivation level? How you feeling about things in general, bro?
So I do think that the content's being rushed for sure. So I think Classic should be, or is, more of a social game than like a content game, right? So like right before Dire Maul got released, like our server was starting to get like a ton of drama, right? Like stuff being posted on Reddit about collusion between like us and Grizzly, Washed Up and Grizzly, and like we were getting banned from World Chat, and like every day there was just like more stuff being posted about that, and it was interesting, right? It was fun. Like we have a whole channel inside of our Discord dedicated to tabloids, where we post like pictures of what people say, like whisper to us or put inside the Stalag Discord and stuff like that, and it was a ton of fun. And then Dire Maul drops and like it starts dying down, right? Because people are doing that content. And then once people got tired of Dire Maul, it started to pick up back again, and then they dropped Phase 2 PvP, and then it died down again. And now like with phase 2, because of the faction balance, I feel like we need BGs. Like, it sucks ranking right now. Like, it sucks for the rankers, it sucks for people leveling, it sucks for casual people that are just trying to do dungeons at 60. Like, it's just overall bad for the game. No one can move out in the world and stuff. Like, if it was a 50-50 faction split, I think it would be much better, and we wouldn't need BGs.
With that said, right now, like, what's your motivation to go in and just rank all day and spend 18 hours doing it?
Like a 3. Like, the only thing that's keeping me going is that I know I have one more week of this, and then I can just do BGs, and I'll be much more motivated once BGs.
Did you get 8 today?
Did I get what?
Rank 8?
Oh, no, I didn't. I only got ranked 7.
Okay.
Still, it's pretty fucking
really
good,
yeah.
yeah.
I've been BR2 every week, so.
Yo, you got a feel for this, man. He's going for 14. He's putting in mad hours, sleepy as fucking. He's at a 3 motivation level, dude. You gotta show this. That is rough.
You say
the stream helps too, though.
Balance.
The stream helps. Yeah.
You say 50-50 balance would help and would be more fun. I guess so, but even on a 50-50 balance server, I still think it's not that as fun as I imagined it.
Is this one of those things
PvP.
where it sounded really good in concept? I was most excited maybe for this phase going into Classic because I'm thinking to myself, there's no BGs, but the rank 14 PvP system is going to be out. It's going to be massive, widespread world PvP. There's going to be bloodshed everywhere. This is going to be something unprecedented you never saw in private servers. It's going to be this special era unique to official Classic WoW, and it's going to be fantastic. And then in practice, you know, the current ranking meta, at least for me on these imbalanced servers, wasn't all that fun, and maybe I overhyped it or whatever. You feel, you think you would feel the same way for us if it was 50-50? Would there be a chance it would be truly epic, or is this just not something that's that great without BGs?
I mean, I don't know. I guess there would still be issues, even if it's 50-50. Although definitely some unique things have came out of this, like even without the faction balance. Okay, so if we had a 50-50, then my server wouldn't have done the Ironforge rating. So like what's going on right now on Stalag is every single day there's at least like 3 to 5, sometimes like 10 horde groups, and horde groups are like anywhere between like 5 to like 15 people per thing, and they run in there and they go into an Ironforge house and they hold it down. They go into a house that doesn't have civs in it, and they camp up inside the house, and we're battling inside of Ironforge. Like, there's been days where there's more horde inside of Ironforge than Alliance. Like, we pushed them out of Ironforge completely. So that's been very unique and a lot of fun. I personally don't get to partake in it as much because if I'm streaming, I can't do it very effectively.
Yeah.
But when I'm not streaming and I go there, I have a ton of fun doing it. So that is fun.
I seem to think that it's less of a balance problem between the factions and more of a population of the server problem, right?
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
I think that their servers are just way too big. You have all these people with these grandiose visions of becoming rank 14, which 99% of them aren't going to do it, right? But you have them all trying to rank anyway, and you have so many of them, and I think that's the issue at its core. I think there's just too many people on the servers.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also a reason why we transferred from like one of the biggest servers in EU to one of the smaller ones. And even the smaller servers are still really big. And right now on Bloodfang, which is medium pop officially, but it really looks like high pop. I still feel like World PvP is not quite as fun as I thought it would be. But then again, if we would do it all over again in 2 years or whatever, I would still like there to be that small World PvP phase, as long as it's small. So I kind of agree with them bringing out BGs a little bit quicker, even though they rush content in a way. I like it to be there, like a small phase, the World PvP phase.
I'm excited for BGs. I think it's a pretty... My prediction would be, when BGs come out, a lot of the hardcore Gen 1 rankers and stuff, they get to relax a little bit. They have this structured environment to farm honor really efficiently. They're playing with other high-skilled players. They get to have more finesse than just, you know, sapper trading and freaking rolling around as big death balls. And the PvP that you do experience out in the world will be more natural and organic. It's like one dude just trying to quest versus another dude trying to quest. You meet out in the open world, kill each other, a little some little exchange goes there. Or maybe you're a 60 making your way to Dire Mall, you'll do your thing, you find another 60, and you have smaller skirmishes and stuff. Because some people would say that World PvP might completely die with the implementation.
No,
of
I don't think
BGs.
so.
No.
I mean, if we've played private servers, you'll know that's not true. Like the thing that I miss, right, is just running into like one other person and having a 1v1. You'll never have that right now. While there's like, it's so rare that happens, right? Like you usually are out by yourself and you run into like 4 alliance, or you're out by yourself and you run into like 20 horde, right? That's how it feels like right now. And I think you'll have these, like you said, these more natural encounters once BGs are out, because like you said, yeah, people are still doing stuff in the world, but a lot of the bigger rankers are going to be queuing for BGs most of the time. So will world PvP be as big as it was during this phase? No, but you'll still have people
world farming, getting ice cap,
trying to get world bosses, and so it'll still be out there. But I'm a lot of us probably hear say, like, we think of the content's rushing too fast, and then you think, okay, only certain things have come out right now. But I think it's more of the sense of like how things, the whole sense of it and how it's been, because we all look at the fact that like they already announced that BWL is going to be coming out
early 2020.
Early 2020, right? Yeah. So that means probably very, very soon, January, February. And I feel like it would maybe like March would probably be the better, safer bet. I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that are still like kind of where you're at, Dunedain. You know what I mean? Still gearing up. I mean, I still need gear. Like I still need, even though we've cleared since whatever week of WoW, I still need cauterizing band. I still haven't got my tier 2 legs. So there's still like a lot of gear that I need.
It's a double-edged sword a little bit. It's probably because MC is so easy that there's not really any... Well, there's joy in doing it, but there's no pride in clearing it, really, right? So I think many people are hoping that BWL will be a little bit, or a lot harder, and there's actually something to work for there.
Right.
So in a way, I like BWL to come out fast. On the other hand, I think it feels a little bit rushed, so it's kind of hard from Blizzard's side too, I suppose. I just hope that after BWL, in case it's a little bit harder, that it takes a while before we go to the next phase.
That's I think we'll have a nice, like, you have ZG to come out, right? And stuff like that. So we'll have a nice, hopefully long kind of a phase there where there's not, you have ZG between and this and other. So I think that can definitely be spread out a lot longer. I just don't want to be doing Nax a year from now. You know what I mean? I want to be doing Nax exactly. like 2 years from now, or like a year. You know what I mean? I don't want things to feel so rushed that we have to. Oh, people are getting bored, so let's put out content now. Like, no, let the natural evolution of WoW go. Like, where people, like you said, Frost, I think you really hit the nail of it. It's more of a social game and not as much as a content game. I think that's really what it comes down to.
What do you guys think the implications are going to be on the world and the game in general when BGs come out? Maybe we can start with you. That's a big question for us. I mean, that's my bad for putting you on the spot here, but like, BGs, let's say BGs come out right now. What happens to World of Warcraft Classic?
Well, I mean, the world is going to feel emptier, but not completely empty, because like it's going to be one person sitting inside the city queuing, and then 9 other people that are out inside the world PvPing until they get the queue, and then they queue in and go into the BG and rinse and repeat pretty much. So like there will still be world PvP for sure. People are going to be out there between queues, but it's going to be less, and I think there will be less like camping DM, camping BRD. Like right now people are doing like whatever, like 30 death runs to BRD, like 30 death runs to DM and all that. That won't be a thing anymore. I don't think all flight paths are going to be permanently camped anymore, so the world will feel safer, but you'll still be targeted.
From the ranking perspective, are the rankers going to breathe a sigh of relief here and feel like they're going to be having more fun and being able to farm honor more efficiently than people that are just playing more?
Yes, definitely. The only thing that I would be worried about, like not being able to farm honor more efficiently, is if we do get pre-made versus pre-made prio queues, it would make Warsong Gulch pre-mades not as good, which would push us back into like AV meta or something like that maybe, which wouldn't be awful, but also I would much rather do Warsong Gulch than AV.
Absolutely.
So I can see a problem coming up with faction imbalance and battlegrounds. If the faction imbalance is really big, even if they group servers together, then you will have like huge queues on Horde side and no queues at all on Alliance side, which I think would mean that Alliance would not go into the open world for PvP. And Horde is then looking for people who aren't even there, so they are just killing questing people, I guess. So I don't know about that. What do you think?
Well, I think as long as they merge the battle groups with PvE servers, we'll be okay.
Oh, with PvE servers, I see.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind that, like, even if it's like a disadvantage or whatever, because they have an easier time farming materials. I would much rather have no queue times and queue against them than.
Yeah, I agree.
I do. When I look for, look forward and I look at the incoming phases, and I think about the community and the current state of the game, the thing that excites me most is BGs, if I'm being honest, because I think that this provides a huge slate of content for content creators, people who are streaming. Like, the streams are going to be a lot more exciting and interesting. You're going to have that player versus player element in the structured environment, lots of good clips and things like that coming out. It's going to satisfy all that. But I'm curious, what is everybody most excited for with Classic WoW? You could even say TBC if you want, man. If you want to say later phases, if you think it's BGs, whatever. And I'm also curious how you guys spend your time in game. Are you guys PvPing mainly or PvEing? And I kind of know what you guys are up to on stream, but some of the people in chat, just questions, try to get some engagement going.
I'm not looking forward to anything in particular. I think I'm looking forward to all the raids, basically. But I really like the community aspect now in Molten Core, and even though it's not hard or whatever, I still really enjoy doing those raids. So if we can have one more of those, that would be nice, like BWL soon. But the thing I really enjoy most in game actually is doing professions, getting recipes for them, getting reputation and stuff. I've been thinking about professions a lot, and I really think that vanilla nails how professions work. If you look at TBC, for example, they are still good, but I really think vanilla has like the perfect profession system, which is something I thought I wouldn't say. I always thought that it got better in TBC and Wrath of the Lich King, but I've been thinking about it, and vanilla is there's so much content for professions only. Should
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Look deeper into it.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to just doing the raids that I've yet to do in Classic, which is finishing AQ and Nax for me. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. But as far as what I'm doing right now in game, I'm trying to make some gold back. I spent a lot of gold and stuff, so I'm trying to make some gold back, doing a little bit of PvP and mostly PvE content. So I'm definitely looking forward to BGs coming out as something else to do, but something that I want to be doing and spending more time in is leveling at all. That's what I want to actually be spending more time doing. So that's something that I think I want to do more of, definitely.
It's so true. If you guys look back on my stream a year ago, or back towards the demo and the beta and all this stuff, it's no secret. It sounds bizarre to some people, but I think my favorite aspect of all of Classic WoW is leveling. I really enjoy it, man. Whether it's solo or duo, going through the zones, doing the quests, wearing a bunch of funky greens and looking like a friggin' hobo. I love that, dude.
Or wearing no greens at all. Wearing your friggin'
I'm
warlock
naked till I'm 20 usually, right? You see when I'm leveling. But so that was one big thing that really not killed, but it affected me. The idea that the leveling meta is what it is, and I don't want any changes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to spoil the party for people, because I think most people are probably happy with it. But the leveling meta being what it is, with the 5-man dungeon spams and stuff, it kind of killed that, because the efficiency, the efficiency is over there, right? But at the same time, man, I kind of just said, fuck it. I'm on a new, fresh server. I'm leveling an alt, and I'm actually starting to connect again with the game and feel like I'm really enjoying the game. And I'm most excited for that too. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm super glad you did that, Kargoz. I'm happy you start enjoying the game as it used to be, and not try to min-max all the
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really
dungeon
happy
farms
for
and
you too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
That makes yeah.
But if you think about that specific thing, sorry, I was just thinking, it's really hard for some people to enjoy the game as it was supposed to be because people know so much stuff. So in that, if you take that into consideration, would it make sense to have made some minor tweaks to the game in order to keep it fresh and to keep people, well, trying out new stuff and don't know everything yet?
Sorry, I was just laughing. Someone said I think he enjoyed buying the wool cloth. That's
Oh yeah. No, what I'm trying to say is it probably a mistake to go no changes after all? Would it have been more fun to do some kind of little changes to keep it fresh?
Slippery, bro.
That's hard. That's a hard question to answer.
It's a deep rabbit hole, man. What about you, Frost? What are you about, man? Are you mainly a PvPer at heart? You think? Like you look kind of young too. I mean, I think I look kind of young. I have baby face. We all kind of look young, but you also look kind of young too. I'm also curious, like how old you are and what's your classic WoW story, man? How did you?
So I'm 23 years old. I started playing in 2005. I was 9. My uncle was playing. He was in Maradon, and I watched him do a Maradon run. And then after that, he let me create a character. I made a paladin, a human paladin, and I started leveling it. I think I made it to like mid-30s or something like that in actual vanilla. All I did was spam dungeons back then, because that's what I liked doing. And so I leveled through dungeons, speccing into holy, tanking them as a paladin.
Nice.
Very interesting. But I had fun, continued, and I've played WoW since then. Played it till MOP on retail, and then when I hit max on MOP, I quit, and that's when I started playing private servers. And then I played private servers since then, pretty much, while like dabbling into the expansions when they come out, just to try them out and stuff.
So you did it all, man. You checked all the boxes. That's crazy. You technically, played back then and playing vanilla and everything, man. Sorry.
I love it. I love when someone like yourself. So young and is a vanilla WoW veteran. I love stories like that. I love it. Yeah.
I'm telling you though, guys, like for all of you that are having doubts out there watching this stream right now, or not doubts, but like your motivation has been a little bit low. You find yourself just sitting there at the login screen. You don't know if you should log in or not. You find yourself raid logging. Be honest, if you're raid logging, air it all out, man. One thing that really might help you reconnect with the game is just creating an alt and just forgetting about everything else, man. Even as I'm talking about this, I'm excited. Like after the stream, I might play a little bit on the alt, man, and just going through the original zones and all that. Try the other faction, as Defcamp said.
I'm
regurgitating it because it's so wholesome, dude. It feels so right when you're doing that. I don't know.
Do it on your own pace. Do all the quests you want to do.
Hey,
do the delivery quests even. Do your professions. Get some fish. Do some cooking. All that.
Maybe
kind
even
of
try
stuff.
out an RP server too. Like an RP server.
Saying.
You guys watch that guy Barney B or whatever? He has those really funny videos on YouTube. I was showing you guys yesterday during the CWO meeting. But he has those really funny videos, and he does a lot of RP, which is really funny. So I think the RP stuff is like fucking hilarious, and sometimes you can have a lot of fun doing it. So it's something you think you might not get into, but it's funny, right? It's like you get into these just random, like this is for me some of the most fun stuff of WoW are just the random encounters that you get in with people, right? Just like crazy stupid stuff that happens. And in an RP server, I feel like that happens way more naturally. Just like something randomly, like some guy following you around, like trying to sell you something or trying to like give you something, and just like really random like fun stuff. I think RP
the Grobulous
server,
people take a lot of pride in their server. I have to say,
do.
Dude.
They really do.
Grob mod, like, they sound like they're having a good time, man, and that leads me
really
into this
do, dude. I think we're kind of missing out on the party a little bit. I honestly really want to make a character over on one of those RP PvP servers. So I think that might be one of my alts are going to be going over there as well and do what he kind of did, Kargoz, and just kind of start fresh over there and see how things go.
Dude, I might join you, bro.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be rolling on another server, and that is going to be Grobulous because I know people that play on Grobulous and they love it over there. So and like
we'll have to join you. Yeah.
Yep, and I created a character there, like just to like try and like reserve a name or whatever. and I was a level 1 priest, dwarf priest, just running around the starting zone. And within 2 minutes, someone was already trying to RP with me, saying like, "Welcome to Azeroth. Like, what's your story? Like, da da da." And it was like, "Holy shit! Like, this is gonna be great for stream content.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be
Yes.
like fun to do. Like, this is perfect. Like, yeah."
That's
So I'm
great.
excited
I
to
feel
do
like
that.
it doesn't need to be on an RP server per se. There's
No.
quite a huge difference between servers. So, like I
Yeah.
said, we switched servers, and it's really a totally different game almost. On the
Yeah.
one server, no one knows about you. No one knows your guild name. There are 1,000 other people, and everyone runs MC. Everyone can do anything. And you come on the other server where there's actually a kind of a good community there, and people know who can make Kleinhardt Helm. People recognize your name. You see the same people on the bridge in Ironforge. There's something going on there. And it's entirely different. It's like, I'm super happy we transferred. It's like playing a new game. So probably the server you're on is just
Yeah,
lacking
there's
that.
Point. I have this
there's
slide
definitely
up
a server,
right here, where I was going to ask, how do you guys feel about the Classic WoW community? But this is too dumb of a question. Like, it's really kind of server specific too. I mean, I guess you guys all have thoughts on the overarching Classic WoW community. You think it's a strong, awesome, supportive, community that you have mostly positive experiences with? Like, or it could very much be server dependent, right? Like on if anybody plays on Grobulus, like, is it still get your fair share of salt and aggro and trolls and all that over there too, or I mean, what do you guys think about the Classic WoW community? Let me open it up.
It's definitely that server personality, right? I mean, like I love the server. I love the Classic WoW community. However, I do think there has been a little bit of a difference. Like there are definitely servers out there. I'm not trying to name any of them, like some of the bigger streamer ones, that I feel like are just like it's different, right? I'm not saying that they're less vanilla or more vanilla-ish. Like there are like the servers out there that have a lot of like the people, from Reddit or from retail or from whatever, just different populations that kind of huddle around a certain server. So you definitely have different personalities on those servers, but as a whole, I do think the Classic WoW community, from what I've encountered, has been very wholesome and what's the word? I guess it has its it's so hard to describe. It has its flaws, right? It has its like ridiculousness to it. It has its craziness. It has its but from what I've experienced, it's been very wholesome to me. Like I've had a lot of good experiences while raiding. I've had a lot of good experiences while out in the world with people. A lot of engagement, a lot of personalities, and I think all in all, I've been really happy with that side of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think there are a few more like elitist people around in Classic if you compare it to how it was even on private servers. I think I'm not quite sure about the last part, but it feels like more people try to be like the best in something and don't accept people who are not min-maxing stuff. That's something I dislike a little bit, but it's partly, well, it's highly dependable on the server, I feel. And I think one of the biggest things is don't play on too high population server. That just doesn't add a lot to the game.
Yeah.
It just, stick with the lower size pop servers. It's my best advice I could give.
It's definitely more of a compound, right? Like you get that feeling more compound. The bigger population you have, the less just it's like watered down, right? So like if you have a little bit of say Kool-Aid, right? It tastes really good, but if you water it down, you can barely taste the Kool-Aid anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, or
Look
it's
at that strong Kool-Aid, dude. That strong
really
Kool-Aid.
strong Snapple, not that watered down Snapple. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
How is it over on Stalag, Frost? What do you mean? You're content creator. You built your own community and everything, and you're over on Stalag and washed up. How do you feel?
I mean, I feel like the community, like you said, it's hard to describe. There's like different aspects to it. It depends on who you like. There's different personalities within the community, and overall, I mean, like very interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like you can act like all the drama videos and stuff that people are doing, like Stay Safe's channel on drama, or like I think Team Mugsy's starting a podcast on drama. Like you could do that for sure on Stalag. Like there's enough drama on Stalag, and I would imagine almost all servers have enough drama to be able to do something like that. Which I think if there was like content creators like that doing that kind of thing on all servers, it would make more people feel included within like the drama, because it does feel like a lot of the drama is more like formed at the top of like the more hardcore guilds are where the drama originates from, right?
Because you think that's is positive?
Yeah, I think that's positive for the game because it makes people more engaged. Like even if it's like negative, it makes the game feel more engaging, because then rather than just sitting there farming DM, you're farming DM while also like talking to people about like these weird like situations that happen, right? Like Devil Store Mafia or whatever.
Yeah, I understand it's a big part of it, but I fucking hate drama. I really do. Like I much more rather deal with like the people that are like a little bit more like nerdy, just like doing like RP shit, you know what I mean, than dealing with like the big guild drama and stuff like that. And listen, it happens. Like sometimes you have to deal with it. You know, as officers in the guild, like we have to deal with a lot of drama sometimes, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. So I mean, like kudos to those people who you know can make content out of it and stuff like that. And I don't have time for that stuff.
You're drama free dude. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You're drama free. You stay free from the haters and.
But I understand how it is a big part of the game. It definitely is.
So here's my thing. I still feel absolutely honored to be part of the Classic WoW community in some capacity, and I've played a bunch of games over the years. You look back, Dota, League, CS:GO, Hearthstone, StarCraft. Thinking of the major games that have played a role in my life, whether it's the MOBAs, the FPS games, RTS games, hard games, whatever. Best community I've ever participated in. You know, it feels awesome. You log into those games, and even just with our current voices right now, dude, there's gonna be lots of little young zooms that are calling you out and calling you a boomer and saying, you know, just being you know, super toxic, like super just crazy. You remember how you were when you were like 13, 14, 15, 16, like that. You get some of that. Like, you don't really get that in the Classic community. There's a lot to like about the Classic community, and overwhelming majority of my experiences with people in the Classic community have been overwhelmingly positive. I absolutely love it. With that said,
look at BlizzCon, like us going to BlizzCon and shit, you know?
Yeah. With that said, I wish there was more ways for like servers to do stuff together, like more events, like more infrastructure, more community type feel to it. And you know, people in the Discords and stuff, that you get pushback when you try and do things like that. I don't know, like I wish there was some way to bring it all together, you know, to bring both.
Well, that's what CWL is for a lot, but like we even, you know, a lot of times like we'll collaborate stuff like that on CWL. Like you're right, a lot of times there's pushback, and I don't know if it's something that people kind of. I don't know. I can't put my finger on exactly why a lot of pushback, but like Reddit, for example, like you could have the best fucking video or whatever, it's still gonna get hate. Like no matter what, like someone's gonna hate on it.
It's Reddit.
It's Reddit, right? Exactly. So I don't know if it's that mentality, or what, but you know, it's just there's people out there who just love to hate on shit, you know, and it's been that way since the internet has been invented, right? So, you know, but like I definitely agree with you, Kargoz. I think one thing for us, you know, especially for you, and I know myself, like I love to coordinate stuff with other people on the server and try to, you know, like let's get a 2v2 bracket going, or let's get something like that going, which you have done like a lot of with your PvP tournaments and stuff like that, and like coming together and seeing that kind of stuff come up. I think that for me is one of my one of my favorite, you know, aspects of the game, is to kind of create these events that are not specifically like WoW events, but they're social events. They're events that people created. Yeah. And I think to me that's like the heart and soul of this game sometimes, is what the actual people, you know, create and what they can come up with.
One other thing too that it doesn't bother me, but it's something that I'm observing, is like it's so easy to just operate within your own guild. You know, you talk with only people within your own guild. You do stuff only with people within your own guild. You chill in Discord all day with people in your own guild. and that's great. That's fantastic. You get to build friendships in there too. But you know, part of me does miss the interactions with random people out in the world and stuff. And this also speaks to me on why I like leveling and stuff too. You just run into someone, you know, you group up for a quest, whatever it might be.
Join a guild, leave it 2 weeks later, join another guild, leave it, that kind of thing. Yeah, I love that. I know.
That's why,
like all these different people. Yeah.
That's why I like enchanting so much, because you have to interact with people.
Good point. Yeah.
But I see myself doing most of my dungeon runs, if not all of my dungeon runs, with guild members all the time.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it too. Get to know them really good. Play with them in raids and stuff. So you create like a small little family, right?
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely pros to both, because I definitely understand what Kargoz is saying. Like, there is something to not being part of like you really get to like slide through the cracks of all these different like facets of the fucking realm and shit. And like I've had characters like that before, where I would just level them up, not really joining. Someone would send me an invite and I just fucking join the guild, whatever. Like and then all of a sudden I realize that it's full of like, you know, retards, and then I leave it. Then I join another guild and I'm like, okay, these people are okay, and then you leave that one because someone else you made friends with is like, hey, come to my guild, and you're with him for like 2 weeks, whatever. I love that kind of natural exploration of the game, like going to a server where you know no one and trying to survive and just like making a name for yourself is actually a lot of fucking fun.
It is a lot of fun. Another thing I would question you guys on too, and something to think about is, you know, what is the most like therapeutic aspect of classic WoW? That sounds super soy, but whatever.
Definitely
like,
leveling for me. Yeah.
It's like when you're feeling stressed and you want to go escape and play a game or whatever and deal with life in that way. Like, what do you like to do most in the game? And for me, like I remember vividly like being a basic training, for example, and it would just suck every day. We just have to do annoying stuff, and it's like be in like wet ditches and stuff, and be raining on you, and you'd be like huddled up with another man in a ditch, and I would literally be writing on this notebook like, yo, I wish I was just leveling in the Barrens right now. I had like just a big ass blanket over me, like just chilling, like you know, it wasn't necessarily PvPing or whatever it might be. I ask you, what do you guys think you enjoy the very most about the game? Like, what, even a particular
I think it's
or
for me, it's like leveling a new character and like getting new abilities, and like okay, so one thing for me is like when I was leveling my shaman on the private server, like I just loved logging in, going to like a new zone, starting those quests, and like having this full fucking quest log, right? Where you've got all these quests to do. You've got like, you know, you just like learned some new abilities and you're ready to try them out. Like, okay, yeah, I got chain lightning now, or I got, you know, I just got fucking wind fury weapon, or like something like that. And you know, you hit level 30, or you get your like travel form level 20, or you get your mount level 40. Like those little things that you do while during leveling, those little markers. Those are some of the most enjoyable parts of the game for me. Is like hitting those little mile markers. You know, getting to a new zone,
getting a Void Walker, doing a class quest.
Stuff like that. Like that to me is some of the most magical fucking moments like of the game. So
it's a cycle. Like I'm starting to realize this now, like putting the pieces together. So you go hard for a bit, you go super competitive, you PvP, you apply yourself to the best of your ability. You will get burned out of that. One solution is to go back to the basics, level a new character, go fresh, and rekindle, you know, the desire to play a lot. Then you go back and forth, because then you're going to crave the PvP, you know, super competitive aspect again. It's like it's the cycle, but you know, understanding it a little bit better now. Yeah.
I want to give my opinion on it, but I want to hear Frost ones first. Also.
Yeah. So my favorite part is definitely like the fresh experience. So basically, from level 1 to like doing like pre-raid bisque gearing, and like just getting that initial gear to the point where it's like, okay, like if I wanted to raid log, I could raid log. Like that point, that rush of like the scramble, that's my favorite part for sure.
Yeah, fresh.
For me, there are a few things which I would do as how did you describe it, Kargoz? Therapeutic? Therapeutic, yeah. So one thing is leveling a Night Elf through Teldrassil, just Eldrasil, listen to the music. Usually I make a hunter, but any night elf is really nice. Pick up the new moves, do some fishing, do some cooking. Basically hang around in that night elf forest. That's probably my favorite thing to do.
Timeless, right? Timeless.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Side, I can do basically the same thing with Tyrants. It's a little bit less, but it's still quite nice, especially if you get to that village with like the pond next to it. Just hang around a little bit there and watch over the water and watch over the plain and stuff. That's really nice too. I can do that. Like I can make just a character, get it to level 10, and then never play it again, and make a new Tyrant, do it again. And
it's so crazy. Like, I even though like I'm just thinking while you're saying this today, even though like I play Horde, like those moments that I enjoy the most are actually for me is like when I leveled in Dunmoreau. Like I loved leveling in Dunmoreau so much. It was such a nice therapeutic. Like and like listen, like I know a lot of people love the Barons but those early leveling zones for the Alliance, even though like I said I fucking love Horde, those early leveling zones for the Alliance for me actually are a little bit more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
This is a thought experiment. This could be completely not useful. But if you had to break the game up into thirds or whatever, like so, imagine your enjoyment, your love for classic WoW is one circle that comprises 100%, and you can break that circle up into 3 parts: leveling, PvP, and rating. With different percentages. Does this even make sense? How would you break it up? Like your enjoyment of the game. Like for me, it would probably be leveling 45%, right? And then PvP, the second largest, and rating being the smallest. Not to say I don't enjoy rating. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of hard. A lot of that depends on like how I feel at the moment too. Like at certain times I might want to raid a little bit more, and certain times I might want to PvP a little bit more. Sometimes I want to level.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to like put a pinpoint on that.
So I really like leveling in the low level zone. I don't like it as much in the higher level zones, especially if it's my first character. I want to have it at 60, and I kind of feel rushed always to get it to 60. Once I am 60 though, and I can level whatever on my pace that I want. So once I have a level 60 character, my alt character leveling is probably more enjoyable. So I would say raiding is probably my favorite, together with low level leveling, and then we have PvP and then high level leveling, if that makes sense.
Interesting. I actually feel like I enjoy. Sometimes to me, like being a low level and having like no abilities, I can't stand it at times. And I like leveling like the at the higher, like maybe like level 30 or 40. That's like usually where I really like leveling around those levels. So it's interesting.
How about you, Frost?
Yeah, I would agree that the lower levels I enjoy more, just because I think that's like the nostalgia of the zones, right? Or maybe it's because I only made it to like 34 in actual vanilla, and that's what I remember. But like, I don't know, like the lower level zones are definitely more enjoyable. But the higher levels, I do enjoy the more abilities because of like it's just that's more fun to do. But the zones, I think, just don't live up to the same standards as like Elwyn Forest, or I don't like the Horde leveling zones nearly as much actually, because I played Alliance all except for the last 2. Like the last private server I played Horde, and then Classic I've played Horde. Every other thing I've always played Alliance, so this is a pretty like fresh experience for me in a way.
Yeah.
But and then for the overall things, for Kargos' question, PvP would probably be the top one for me, and then followed by leveling and then raiding. Raiding really feels like a means to an end for me, just to get gear basically, and it can be fun, but I enjoy more like the TBC and Wrath of the Lich King raids.
The reason I put raiding so high, by the way, is not because the gear stuff. It's more like getting together with the guild, have a talk, have a chat for a couple of hours, and then log out again. And I don't really care if I win an item or if I don't. Just fun to get together, really.
Yeah, and I totally get that part too, but I think the reason why I don't like it as much is maybe because of the mentality of my guild has, where it's like we're trying to like get through it and get done as fast as possible rather than like chill together and like the 40-man call and just like have a good time. Which like we don't get me wrong, we still have a good time, but when you're like trying to rush, it's different.
Yeah. That's why especially I really try to keep it a little bit slowed down. So it's really hard to manage, honestly. People always want to go fast, but just slow them down, take a break in the middle of MC, have a drink, have a chat.
Yeah. I mean, kind of what you said, Frost, though, like, you guys are all saying things, and it's just making me think of random stuff. Like, you like the idea of Fresh and getting your main set up in a position where they can raid log, right? And I'm right there with you, bro. I love Fresh. I think a lot of people in the private server community, given the nature of private servers, like, crave Fresh. A new Fresh comes out, everybody's excited. They're messaging each other, you're going to play, you're going to play, you're going to play. It's awesome. On the same note, it is kind of liberating too once you get your main into that position and you have all the basic pieces. You got all your basic, you got your trinkets, your engineering, everything up. It's also a little bit liberating, like, oh man, I can level an alt now because my main is good to go. I never really thought about it from that perspective so much. So it's kind of empowering me a little bit further. Like, damn, I can actually just sink my teeth into this alt because my main is good. Other than the idea that I'm hemorrhaging gold every week, but other than that, you know, it's fine.
That's exactly
Feel
my
more
mentality.
relaxed, right?
I honestly, I'm really happy for you, Kargoz, because I feel like you were kind of at the point where, like, I understand the mentality, right? You're always like, you have to get to the top of this, have to get to the top of that, and like, you know, and I feel like you've kind of got to the point now where you can kind of just like relax and say, I've got this, you know, because you've got almost 360s?
Yeah,
or 2?
Almost, yeah, I have almost 3.
Right, yeah. So like you've fucking gone hardcore, and like, and I feel like you're kind of at the point now where you just want to enjoy the game and do what you want to do, and I really I think you have to get there though. You have to get to that point, right, where you you have all this, because you know I know you've played a lot of fucking WoW, man, and I think every like, you know, Cap is at a different place, and I think every person will get to that point though eventually and say, listen, I've done as much as I can on this guy. Like, yeah, I could keep farming gold, yeah, I could keep doing this, but at some point I feel like you know, for the people who really enjoy the games, you know, for the leveling and things like that, at some point you just get to the point where you say, okay, it's time to start again, or it's time to start something new and start something different.
Yeah, no, that's well said, man. Thanks for the 1,000 bits, Vom. Appreciate it, man. By far, the salt and shade during raids in Discord is my favorite. Some people really get into it, man. Like the PvP channel and scare 'em. Oh man, they're always popping off at each other. Anytime I die, bro, just take a picture of your corpse with your dead body and spam it to you, bro. Every time I die, dude, just fucking.
Bomb's favorite things to do are, number 1, giving me innervate, and number 2, doing fucking spins as a night elf. I know he loves that shit.
Yeah.
What's up, Perfect Stealth? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, perfect. Good to see you in here, bro. We got to get you on a GMA one of these days, man.
Hell yeah.
So, are you? What is your goals, Frost? Are you gonna get 14, and you know, is that your final goal in class? Have you cleared Nax and on private servers and stuff like that?
No, so I actually never played a vanilla private server besides like leveling. Like, I did a lot of practice leveling for Classic to know what to level, but I was always scared to play a vanilla private server during my private server times because of I didn't want to lose all my progress on it, and I always felt like vanilla is like the one where it's like you invest the most time into it, and most servers are not going to be multiple times XP, because back then that was my, like, I didn't want to spend a shit ton of time leveling basically, and especially for like a TBC or a Wrath server where you have to level all the way to 80 or whatever. And so I didn't really play any vanilla private servers. I never rated even MC before Classic, so this is all fresh for me. Whole max
That's
level
awesome.
60. Yeah.
Wow, that's freaking sweet, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Nax virgin as well with in vanilla, so that's one thing I'm really also excited for. That I'm thinking that's going to be like totally fresh to me.
Yep, same here. I've done MC, I've done BWL, and I've done ZG, but I've never set foot into. I've done AQ20 as well, but I have not set a foot into AQ40 or Nax in vanilla. So
seen the first boss of AQ40. I don't think I ever killed him. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah,
So one thing
I never
don't
did
remember.
AQ40 or NAC, so
I didn't like it back then, though. But I'm looking forward to it now.
I can't
And,
wait to like kill Cthulhu and shit like that. It's gonna be
Yeah. Honestly, I can't wait till I kill Nefarian, because I honestly never killed Nefarian.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
We killed Filestras in
Filestras,
Classic. And on private servers, I killed up to wait, what's the name? The 2 bosses before Nefarian. What's the name again?
You're thinking of Chromagus?
Yeah, Chromagus.
Yeah.
And then I deliberately quit because I didn't want to spoil it anymore.
Gotcha.
Yo, if a fresh server came out in a week, would you guys play?
No.
No. Just because of the rank, though.
Yeah.
Not because I'm enjoying myself right now. I don't want to start fresh now. I want to go through the entire cycle before
Yeah, I
I
don't think I
start
would,
fresh.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to reroll a main on there, but I would love
No.
one, I would love one out there or something. But it's funny, like we're saying how much we love fresh, and it is true. But you kind of have to time the fresh at a certain point. Like you have to go through the whole life cycle of the server first and get through Nax and stuff, then drop a fresh.
Yeah.
But
like here's the thing. I don't want people to. Oh, I made a mistake, but I am still 100% so glad that I made my priest first. You know, and like. I know I played a priest on the last private server I played on, which was Northdale. So I played a priest there, and it got, relatively a little bit further where we are now into BWL. But I'm still really happy I went priest first. I'm still really happy that I did what I did the way I did it. I just want to, explore things a little bit more now. I definitely, first and foremost, love the priest class more than anything else. So it's like, and I'm sure you feel the same way towards your. Well, would you have done it differently, Kargoz? Would you? I've heard you say before you would have made a mage first, right?
yeah, I don't know, man. See, that's the thing. If there was a fresh, and I mean, knowing what we know now about the leveling meta and everything, like we would just crush it. Like if we had to do it all over again, yeah. But at the same time, then I'm just doing the same thing. Oh man, I don't know. It gives me a headache even thinking about it. But yeah, I would probably, gun to my head, I'd probably go mage first, level the warlock second, have the warlock be my main, dungeon cleave it up again.
So you would just dungeon cleave again, even if you now see how fun it can be to just be out in the world to the quests and stuff.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think I would have too much neurosis, just like looting amber corns out in fucking Stone Talon while everybody is like grinding and in SM, like throwing.
I understand it. I don't get it wrong. I wondered.
I don't know. Yeah. That's why I'm starting to think like this is kind of a good position right now. Like you have the mains, you're set up, you scrambled, you did the fresh, you established yourself. Now you can relax and sink your teeth into an all. Like that. That doesn't have to stress you out. Like you're clearly playing from behind on this new server, new economy, new people. Nobody knows you, so you don't have to stress it. You don't have to worry about getting to a certain benchmark at a certain time and stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna level this hunter up, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I do.
No, I got a question for you guys, and like I wonder what you think, because a lot of private servers that we played on had BGs, either like really quick into the release of the server. Do you think that would have worked in Classic, or do you think that was it were better that we didn't do it and that we're doing it this way?
I was actually talking to somebody about this yesterday, and we thought that BG should have been in from the very get-go, but no honor system still.
But no honor system.
Yeah, so you could queue into BGs, practice doing worse on Gulch, or just do them for fun, and yeah, and we thought that would have been very good, because that would also make it so people didn't feel the need to rush more content faster.
Right.
So then, like, they would have something to do, basically. And overall, I think that would have been good.
That's interesting.
Why does it mean you don't have to rush the content?
Well, because like people were saying we don't have anything to do. Well, now you can go and just queue BGs and like do some BGs just for fun. It gives you another area of the game to play or explore, I guess.
I actually really like the idea of the world PvP phase, even though I don't like it as much as I thought it would. As I thought I would like it. But if we would do it again, I would still have I think, the small world PvP phase, no BGs. I like the first phase too, where we had just nothing from Honor. You could just level up, do it on your pace, don't get ganked all the time, even though you got ganked quite a lot. I don't know, man. It feels like it's something that sets it apart from private servers a little bit. Even though it's not as we expected it to be, it's still something different than private servers, and I kind of like it as long as the phase is not too long.
I understand. It's crazy because I kind of understand. Like, you both have really valid points on this, and it's fucking hard because, like, you know, I'm just trying to see how it would have, you know, because it probably would have helped the balance of the servers. You didn't have like alliance like bleeding out of certain servers because of the faction already being imbalanced. I'm just, they both have merit. They really do, and I would have really, I think about it a lot. I was like, what, you know, Classic would have been like if we did have BGs, you know, maybe not from the very start, or, you know, if they were from the very start. If not, like maybe, you know, a couple of weeks after launch, something like that. Something
without
like very
actually
early.
changing the balance of the game in any way, as far as
Right,
drop
exactly.
rates or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What would if you could have redone Classic over again? You know, so we're talking about things like maybe layering. We're talking about timing of phases. We're talking about honor from the start. We're talking about all these things, leveling meta. If you could have made one selfish change, not to the game, but just to the way, you know, the decisions they made outside of the changes space. What would it be for you guys?
So wait, do you mean like within what we got? Like,
yes, within
I'm not talking about
change
what we got,
buff
you know,
warlocks, or, you know, I want them to, you know, make Diremaul drop double the gold or whatever. You know, none of those actual changes, just as far as the decisions.
But for example, if I would say the old school AV pre-nerf, that'd be something.
That could be something, yeah, because it's not exactly a change. You're in that gray area, right?
Right.
Gotta think about it.
Yeah. That would be yours, you think?
No, I don't think so. Just mine. I most definitely would be go from 1.1 talents and balance. I still would really like to see that.
Oh yeah, you've
would
been
have
advocating
been
that
so
for
much
a
more.
while,
Yeah.
I actually think that would have been pretty interesting. I mean, but there have been a lot of.
There would have been a lot of issues, obviously,
yeah.
but it would be a changing meta, and it would be interesting to see how it would change.
So not even progressive itemization, progressive just balance and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like you actually.
Well, yeah, I think itemization should be progressive. Like I like the way they did on private servers where, you know, you actually like, okay, so you got tier 1, like, oh my god, this tier 1 piece is amazing, and then all of a sudden it changes, like, oh shit, it sucks. Oh, it's amazing again. Like, I mean, it makes it feel the game a little bit more alive though. Like in that, you know, excuse. I remember, you know, getting a certain item like in MC, you know, right after like the server launched, and it was like really fucking shit or whatever, or, you know, it's really good, and then like certain items turn bad, certain items turn good. It just makes you play around with your gear a little bit more, and it just give you a little bit more. Just to play around with. I think it was, so it wasn't, and it, like, I felt like it never really got like never was that big of an issue, right? Like, yeah, maybe it had a little bit less healing, plus healing, a little bit more plus damage and shit like that, but never felt like, for me at least as a priest, that things were like too, like, I think it would have been nice to have a little bit of time where, you know, benediction wasn't available, or the Domos chest wasn't available, or, you know, certain gear like the Crimson Felt hat wasn't available, things like this. I think it would have been nice to see that.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So what would be yours though, Defcamp, if you had to?
I guess it would be that. What I just.
Oh yeah.
Progressive itemization, maybe.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of things. Like, now that I think of it, there are. If I had to pick one thing, that's hard for me to say. I could probably sit here and change my mind over and over, but I definitely think the layering. I think that I would have loved to see smaller servers.
Oh yeah.
That weren't layered. I would have loved to see that, and just have, like, you know, because a lot of us knew that there wasn't going to be enough servers first of all, and they end up being these massive.
Quick
mega servers,
interjection
so-
in the chat. Everybody wake up. Do you think a lot of the problems that we have with Classic WoW is a result of having too few servers, and the whole faction imbalance, all that? Answer that. Sorry, Defcamp, to interrupt you. I'm just want to get your feedback going there. That's a
Glad I
And
brought
two
it up,
big
yeah.
servers.
that-
Yeah.
So you think that would that be your number one?
That would probably be my biggest one. Yeah, it
more
would be the
servers,
layering. And,
smaller servers.
yes, that would probably be my biggest one,
That's-
honestly.
That's a good one, Defcamp. That's a fucking good one, dude.
Thanks.
There's something with smaller servers, by the way. People still tend to be kind of afraid to go to a medium pop server, and if you look into them, you see how many people actually are playing on it, and you kind of wonder, why are you afraid of going there? But what I want to say is, it would be nice if Blizzard just kept the servers as they were back then, and they were quite a lot smaller, to force people into seeing how good it actually is to play on a smaller server, because people are now just scared to do it, and therefore we have those huge mega servers, and people say, oh, a mega server, that's where you need to, yeah. So just force us into play on small server, and people will see it's actually quite interesting.
Hindsight's 2020, you know, like I'm
Yeah,
not saying Blizzard's
yeah.
totally like completely crazy for doing it the way they did, but I do. My gut does say that if they did just have maybe a third more.
I mean, could
servers
you
or
imagine
something,
if
it might
we
be a little
had,
better,
yeah,
you
it's,
know? or maybe didn't do the offer the transfers off at some point. Like first, I don't know if it was the same thing with you guys
Yes.
on Stalag.
and yeah,
But we
that
lost
as well, the
A
transfer.
ton of alliance.
There's so many
on
things, right? And like I feel like a lot of us knew, like when they first announced that, oh, there's gonna be like 4 US PvP servers, we're like, what? Like that's
Two-
not enough.
two
Like,
EU
that's,
servers.
Like, what are you talking about? like I felt like everyone was kind of just like, what are you smoking, dude? But they had to go off of the numbers they were seeing. I don't know, but you know, and we've talked to some of the developers and things like that, and they give their reasons, and I understand, you know, as a developer, you got to go off of what you have and all this kind of stuff. But like, it just, to me, it felt like common sense. And
It
you know, we
still
were
doesn't
fighting
make
for this
sense,
for
honestly.
a long time. Like Dunedain, you know, the three of us doing GMA, and almost every episode we talked about like,
That is true.
please
we didn't-
no layering, you know, like this, that, and the other. And
the layering didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to. I was crying. You guys
Yeah.
remember I was whining like a
Oh,
little
I know,
baby
dude,
about
you-
that shit. Like it
you
didn't
almost
bother me.
like-
Yeah.
you almost scared me at one point because I thought you were gonna be like, fuck this game. Like I literally you thought you were gonna get to that point.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be doomsday with the and you know maybe it might no I mean it's not as a big deal as I would have thought. There are people that stashed like 9 million lotuses and probably went in and got, you know, remember when you could layer inside the instances. Like,
Oh my
you don't
god.
know the full
dude.
implications of that damage, right? Like maybe that was scuffed, but from my selfish perspective, didn't affect me as much as I thought it was. I was like this doomsayer for layering, but yeah.
But
What about you?
that would definitely be my fucking change. Absolutely.
It's a good one, dude. It's a good one to pick. What about you, Frost? Like outside of the realm of changes, like no balance changes to the game, but out of the decisions that Blizzard did make, if you could pick one and redo it all over again, which one do you think? But
Totally the initial transfers. I think they should have only allowed the transfers to prevent queues, right? They should have only allowed it for the bigger population faction for all the servers, because that would even out the faction balance, right? And then once it's a 50-50, then you could open up to both sides.
because what they did exacerbated the problem further, right?
Exactly. And then now it's too late because they're offering, I'm guessing Scarum, the Horde can transfer to not Heartseeker, but the other one, the equivalent of Heartseeker.
I think Heartseeker's there too, right? Heartseeker, and there's one other one too. Yeah, there's yeah, I forgot what it is, but yeah, some of the Horde are reporting that was a bad call. I don't know.
Yeah, because overall, like, that's not a good option, right? Like, what do the Horde really want to transfer onto a server where there are 20% population with, like, barely any guilds to join?
So the bizarre thing too is that at least on Scarum, Stalag might have a parallel. A bunch of Alliance transferred off to Heartseeker in one big push, right? And then Heartseeker became a server, at least at some period of time. It might be more balanced now with the transfers. I'm not sure if anyone plays on Heartseeker, chime in here. But Heartseeker is Alliance dominated. So just imagine if there was no Heartseeker, there was no transfer over there. Like, would we be at a 60-40 on Scarum and be more in the same boat as these other servers? Yeah, probably, dude. Probably.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why I think at this point the answer is to have Heartseeker merge with Scarum and Stalag, right? Like, because I think if it merged with just one of them, it would probably cause queues. But if you kind of split it between the two of them, and give us both some of that alliance population, it would make our factions more balanced.
Unfortunately, guys, I have to run, but I wish I would have looked this up earlier. So apparently, oh, here it is. Taladril linked something to me. It got like 10,000 upvotes on the thing, but it got deleted. But he showed me the original post now here. So this is something I think you guys are going to want to talk about. World of Warcraft Classic Redditor use Yeti for dishonorable kills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the whole civilian thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard about that, there's the Yeti, and there's another one too. There's something out of like Stratholme or something it's like an Eye of Kilrog thing. They're considered. It drops off the spider, right? The spider and help me out here.
You're talking about the clutch. Like something like the clutch of force. Like
it's like a little thing that looks like an Eye of Kilrog. They're considered civilians, right? So like they can get down by AoE damage, and you can mess people up pretty bad like that if you're not careful. So they've been doing that to sabotage the horde.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see. All right. Yeah. So, but I gotta run. You guys keep going. I gotta run out meeting. Okay. But I really enjoyed this, guys. So we'll see you guys next week, and keep on and grinding, guys. Just
see you, man.
Have a good one. All right, guys. See you.
We're still going a little bit more, but Defcamp tapping out.
So isn't it quite interesting that many people prefer Alliance starting zones and stuff, and Alliance City, and then still play Horde, like you guys do?
Say that again. Sorry, I gotta fix the cam.
Yeah, so many people prefer Alliance zones. It's more cozy. The cities are nicer. It's more nostalgic, and still, those people like you guys play Horde. So why is that? Why did you decide to play Horde? Yeah.
I mean, I overall like Horde more, even though I do like Alliance a lot as well. But it's not by some huge margin, man. I kind of like them both, man. Like I could totally play Alliance.
Yeah, I definitely like them both. But I actually was rooting for Alliance, but my guild chose Horde, so that's just what it was.
Big part. Mm-hmm. Usually follows like friends or guilds or stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
My selfish thing with the change would be the leveling meta, dude. Well, no, that's a balance change. That's a balance change. Yeah, no change.
But true on that.
Yo, like that's a balance change, right? I can't have that one.
Yeah.
But
well, maybe. If I don't know how it would be, but maybe if you start with earlier balance, then it would be different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could, if you had like the lesser talents, lesser balance, lesser powerful gear, lesser powerful spells, then you could probably not go with those dungeon cleaves. You had to CC more in order not to let the tank die.
Do you think
so maybe that would solve?
It's possible, yeah. If you wanted to opt for that, yeah, that might be a roundabout way to fix it. I mean, these are the values, right? This is how it was, and I wonder. Yeah, it has to be the case, right? Like this was how it was back in vanilla. People just didn't do it, I guess, right? Like they didn't level in this way, in mass, with all the guides and information getting passed around so readily. But I wonder if, guys, chime in here if you have thoughts on this. If classic WoW launches and millions of people come back, and they want to level and do their thing, but then they see in world chat people are spamming SM like crazy, right? They're spamming, SMGY run, SM lib, SM, armory, all this, and then they get snowballed into the ZF, and then they find out about the BRD little jail cell spam. There's got to be a good amount of people out there that came back to classic and didn't really maybe fall in love with it that much because they just went through the leveling motions like that and was like, yo, that's what this game is about. Like, I don't know if that was cool, but it's very different from just going out into the world and having to make do and be good to people and run across people organically. It's a very different experience, right?
Definitely.
Dude, that's kind of huge, man. That's kind of huge. And there's nothing you can do about it because this is how classic was, But I don't know. I feel like I would wager there's a good amount of people that had their experience not ruined, but like tarnished because of as a result of the dungeon cleave meta. And I participated in it not once, but 3 times over. So I'm not exactly.
So the question then is, how many people are influenced by streamers and stuff? And I think the direct influence is not as big. It's probably a few percent of the player base, but those people influence other people too, so it gets like a little bit more of a meta. And yeah, you have a good pointer. I think like if someone who is not following anything on YouTube or Twitch or whatever just joins the game, that person is still most of the time going to just go through the leveling process in the open world, do the quests and stuff. It's hard to really see what the influence is, right? I don't know. Yeah,
I think it probably had a pretty big impact, just based on, like, I think if there would have been Twitch and as many YouTube videos being posted back in 2004, people probably would have picked up on a similar meta, I think.
Yeah, people are saying the cleave mentality is fading a bit, but it's kind of too late, dude. The fresh is done. Like, the server has stabilized. It has happened, and it was really scuffed in the first week. If you guys remember when we could do the raids, and it wasn't even 5-man, I participated in that as well with Onslaught. We were in CF with like 10 people. Like that, at that point, I was like, yo, I'm not playing WoW. Like, I'm playing some crazy, strange game, but it's not WoW. Like I can probably never run ZF same again. Like, I remember running ZF back in the day in vanilla on a little laptop with a touchpad, being fully immersed by these savage trolls. Now that place is just a freaking meat grinder as far as I'm concerned. I can't run that place again. But you know, when you had the 10-man meta and you were just racing through, annihilating everything in your path, that was Omega Scuff. Then they fixed that, right? And, you know, even still, man, the dungeon meta and everything.
It's still one of the biggest differences from what I remember of Classic, that you don't really have to CC anything in dungeons right now. And it used to be such a big part of Classic. So I wonder if we ever go to the Burning Crusade, CC is kind of important there, right?
Yeah, for heroics, it's huge. Yeah. You actually have to like form your comp based on it. Like for what's the Steam Vaults, heroic Steam Vaults, you basically need a shaman.
So is that where we are going to experience the old style crowd control dungeon running?
I don't know,
like
man.
Slower pace?
2020 technology and information distribution, like people are just gonna find a way to zerg through everything, I feel. I don't know. That's about this.
I wonder if they can make a game like WoW again where you can have that slower pace, where you have to do the crowd control without making it too extreme to the extreme like they need to do retail now. If you have that extreme kind of gameplay, you're basically doing like the top level raiding now. What's it called? Mythic raiding, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's something they have to do in order to make us go to the content on like it was intended to be. I don't know.
Yeah, man. The leveling, I don't know. It is what it is. That's why, like, I just have to kind of forget efficiency, forget everything, have my main established for me to just go through the motions and play the game, and helping me reconnect, doing it that way. Because the cleave meta is, I don't know. It's fun though. At the same time, that's why I'm so conflicted. The cleave meta is fun when you run a spell cleave and you're doing really big, huge, aggressive pulls. You're pulling with ice blocks. Everyone is doing what they got to do. You go bigger and bigger, and you kind of gamify the instance. It is actually fun, but at the same time, it shoots something in the foot, which is like a huge bucket of content in the game. It's Anyway, another question for you, Frost. Are you in love with mage? Are you a mage enthusiast at this point? Are you a magus for life? Or is this something that you...
No, I've always been a class hopper.
Okay.
Like every server I play, I pretty much pick a different class. I picked mage for this because it was like kind of like my first class that I like started playing when I like actually understood the game, like when I got old enough to really play it in Cataclysm. So that made me want to play mage, and it's just been a really long time since I've played mage. Just played a bunch of other classes. I've been playing a lot of melee lately, so I wanted to get back into the caster. And yeah,
you tend to go DPS all the time.
Yeah, I'm a DPS main for sure. I've done some tanking, I've done some healing. Like on the last Wrath server, I had a Holy Pally alt, but like healing's just not something I'm able to do for long term. Like I get burned out of healing, I get tired of it. Whereas I don't know why I don't for DPS. Like it's kind of similar, where it's like just as boring. But
I feel
Dude,
healing is
it's
more
like-
engaging. It's
Yeah,
always
it is.
changing, and you have to react on things. Like DPS is just, basically smashing that one button.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just being able to see your numbers go up each week and trying to get them higher and higher from just doing little things. But
Do you
But it's
enjoy
also-
the mage though? Is it
yeah, I'm really
what you
enjoying
want it to
Mage.
be?
Like, it has like its few things that I get annoyed by, mainly due to the way that this client works compared to private servers, like with like tick rates and Blizzard slow, like delay, just small things like that irk me. But other than that, it's really fun. But when I'm playing my rogue, like I got one good PvP fight on my rogue while leveling it in Stranglethorn Vale, and I was like, the second that happened, I was like, I'm gonna have so much fun like playing my rogue once I get this to 60, because yeah, I don't know, rogue's also just really enjoyable for me.
I sometimes miss playing at DPS. I always tend to go to healers, but one of the main problems there is the gear you get in raids and stuff. It's not quite as useful in the open world as it is for rogues, mages, whatever you pick there. So you're basically stuck with doing dungeons or go with your PvP group and heal them. This is an option too, which I don't really like as much. But you don't feel like you increase in power in the world. You have all your nice and epic gear, but there you are being a plate wearer in full cloth gear who can only heal, and you can't even kill someone. So yeah.
the Pally Destiny, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, you can throw some other armor on. You know, you can do, yeah.
it's true, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's different. You don't
Throw
have that
on the hand of rag.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal.
Live the dream.
Needs to drop.
Sick.
Yeah, one of my goals. Never had a legendary before. Really want one now, but we'll see. Have to have a little luck, right?
Have you killed North at all, Frost?
I have a few times. I actually don't see him out in the open world nearly as much. I've only won him once, and that was actually only a couple days ago. He killed me that time. He got the jump on me from behind. Blame it on that.
He's a good mage.
But yeah.
He takes a
No,
lot of
he's
pride
really
in his
good.
play, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if you had some Magus battles.
A lot of the times he's grouped, because like the meta on Stalag is alliance groups because there's so many horde, and then horde have to go solo because there's so few alliance to kill that you have to get full honor when you kill somebody.
Yeah. What's been your go-to ranking or honor farming method recently?
Dire Maul, camping people on their way to Dire Maul, and camping people on their way to what's it called, BRM.
And how many in the party?
Solo.
Oh, actually solo. Okay, going for those 200
Yeah.
honors, those 200 juicy 200. You're not posting up in the ruins then? Are you just along the path leading up into Dire Maul?
Yeah, like right now I'm like right above the ramp, because that's just like where they funnel. If not, I'll do like right at like the courtyard. It's another good spot. Sometimes I'll do like the flight paths in Feralis, and then for BRM I just do like the road between Thorium Point and BRM, and then just running around steps. I'll usually do Lotus routes and steps, and then just see who I run into. But when I'm not streaming, I try and go to Ironforge, because that's like the best honor per hour. Yeah.
With the group, and you take over a house like you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And so you bring like 5 to like 8 people ideally, and preferably more mages and priests, and try and spell cleave people as they come in, pop sappers and stuff. It's more expensive ranking in Ironforge for sure, but the honor's worth it.
Yeah. That's the ranking meta, ladies and gentlemen, for a couple more days now. 7 more days. Gotta hang in there, brother.
Shall we probably round up, because I also I can't make it too late.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. It was a short and sweet GMA. I really appreciate you being here, Frost, man. I gotta spam your links in here. Frost, what's your stream schedule? You stream quite regularly, huh?
Yeah, I stream pretty much every day, from somewhere around like noon PST to like 2 PST is when I start, till around midnight.
Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, and you have a lot of educational content, videos and stuff too on your YouTube channel. Frost he's doing it all. He's streaming, he's making videos, he makes some really, really good content. I mean,
Thank you.
seriously. So you guys should check him out there. That's the best way you can show support for GMA and having guests on. You got to make it worth their time and help them get some growth and support them and support fellow members of your community. So those are links to his channel out right there.
When is my live stream? I don't know, man. No, I've streamed like 2 months ago, but I'm actually thinking of picking it up again. Been leveling, been busy, been doing a lot of stuff, but yeah, I kind of feel like streaming every now and then, but not on a regular basis or whatever. I can link my channel in case I decide to stream. Would be on YouTube in that case, so there you go. And if you're interested in just joining the Discord or joining the guild as a social or whatever, we are basically full though on Raiders, but socials are welcome. This is the Discord link, so come and have a look.
Right on. And if you guys are down to roll on another server, you know, just keep it tight though, like just a few of us, no sweat, just low key level and establish a foothold in a new server. I'll probably be doing that honestly. Over the next couple days and stuff, and just reconnecting. So hit me up. Play some games.
Sure. We need more warrior DPS, right? Nope.
You guys stacked on warriors?
Oh yeah, we have 10 warriors right now, and I have that kind of general idea of not taking more than 5 of each class, which is really hard. So we end up with 7 warriors now and a few less of other classes, but yeah, still 10 warriors. Hard to get them all a raid spot.
It's true. Alright guys, so that's it for this week. Thanks again for hanging out with us on Good Morning Azeroth 36. We will see you again next week, guys. Take it easy. Take care.
Bye-bye.